Welcome back, campers. It's another hump day in the realm. How's everyone doing? Are you taking care of yourselves? Are you minding your health, minding your mental? Are you staying cool? Are you elevating? I mentioned before that we're going to be on the road very soon. 2 days, if you're watching this on Wednesday. And we will be keeping you guys updated. We did kind of a behind the scenes thing last, when was it? Sunday, to keep you informed on what's going on. Today, we're going to talk about the black gold of the sun. We are becoming more and more convinced that melanin is to the skin what gold is to the earth. It may not be an accurate comparison, but for right now, that's what we got and that's what we're working with. I don't really know that much about it, but I'll tell you what, I know more about it now than I did 5 years ago. So I'm kind of studying it, and for obvious reasons, there's not a lot of deep information on it. Nonetheless, universe is putting the information in front of me and giving me ideas where to look for it. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of allusion to melanated populations in the pre-Christian era. Now, a lot of us already know this. Maybe some of us have learned this through the Bible bigots who use code words, you know, like the sons of Noah, the pre-Adamites, and so on, because they don't want to come straight out and tell you that most of the population of that time, like this time, were heavily melanated humans. So before I go on and like redo the talk that we're going to present in this episode, let's just get into this episode. You guys let me know what you think, what you've heard, what you've learned, what you believe. And if you have any kind of resources for me to go and check out and look up, let me know. Enjoy the show. Thank you as always for your support. You know we appreciate you. Have a happy, healthy hump day. Cheers.
Our mission is to provide compelling, provocative, healing, life-enhancing content to a global, English-speaking audience. NOXSOMA Life Camp 2.0 is a global healing initiative, 7-year plan that aims to encourage, guide, and instruct individuals to elevate their vibrations, align their frequency with universe, and reconnect with source. Also, to benefit on this material plane, reality through improved health and wellness, happiness, humility, and abundance. As we reach our funding goals, we will be able to advance to the next phase of our calling. Thank you for supporting our effort.
Do you guys remember when you found out that the majority, and I mean a huge majority of planet Earth, are not white? And by white, I don't mean it as an ethnicity or a culture. I mean melanin deficient white. When you grow up in America, unless you grow up in a ethnic enclave or a ghetto or an ethnic neighborhood, barrio, something like that, then you think most of the world is melanin deficient or light-skinned or pink or transparent. Okay, we can call it white because that's what you see every day on TV and everywhere you go. Maybe you'll go to Chinatown every now and then and you'll see some Chinese people, but they're very melanin deficient as well. I read a book that says that it's a big thing, especially for the Han Chinese, to remain fair-skinned, because that is a symbol of their level of class, like a class level. The brown people work out in the fields, and the fair-skinned people are like executives or just like higher on the level of class or something like that. In India, probably for the same reason, fair skin is a selling point if you're looking for a mate. You know, when I was cruising these Indian dating sites, man, it would always have these different levels of skin tone in the descriptions, man. Africans in America, same way. Got different groups for the light skin, for the high yellow, for the red bone, you know, because of course they're mixed, and they're mixed with who? The slave masters. Same way with India, same way with Australia, same way with Southeast Asia. The only way you lose your melanin is if one of your parents, grandparents, or back in history are melanin deficient. That's the scientific description for it. You look it up. I looked it up. It says melanin deficient. Well, they say albinism. Albinism is a melanin deficiency. I guess you have 0. But if you're like Scandinavian or Teutonic or something like that, and you have like maybe on a scale of like 0 to 100, like maybe you have like 2 or 3. You know, you're just a little bit before albinism. You know, there's no melanin in your eyes, no melanin in your hair, and definitely no melanin in your skin. So when the sun hits you, you burn. We haven't drawn any final conclusions yet. However, it seems to your humble vagabond that melanin in high levels is the default for life on the planet, because it's everywhere, in the hair, in the skin, in the eyes. I mentioned this before. The reason people have blue eyes is because there's no melanin in it to absorb the light. It's just reflecting the sky. That's why people say, oh, my eyes change color. Well, they don't change color. It's just a matter of the reflection. On a bright day, they're bright blue. On an overcast, cloudy day, they're gray, because they're just like mirrors. And speaking of eyes, it also seems that the majority of humans on this planet have the epicantic fold, or like the slit eyes. You know, they come like straight down, and there's just a little spot in there to let the light in. And that also makes sense to me, because we're a planet that's so close to the sun. So even if you have those rounded out eyes, right? You take your glasses off in the sun, and what do? You squint. Why do you squint? Because you get that blast of light in your eyes, and your eyes aren't ready for it, and you need to lower the amount of light. It's just like a camera. You close the aperture a little bit to let less light in. So we're thinking that, in quotes, evolution goes from dark-skinned, closed-eye folks to lighter-skinned, wide-eyed folks. And that would be a reflection of where the sun is and how much sun is coming into the picture. By the way, disclaimer, this is not science. This is guesswork on the part of your humble vagabond. I don't know for sure. I watch these videos by people who study ethnicity and kind of like pseudo anthropology, and this is the message that I'm getting. Highly melanated people, from my experience, seem to be healthier, more muscular, and more in tune with the planet. You know how the melanin deficient put it, they have rhythm, but not everybody has rhythm. But then, we tend to look at the spectrum from the lightest of the light that aren't albinos to the darkest of the dark in near the equator region and in Australia, in the Pacific. Man, let me tell you something. I met some folks that looked like they were Indian, all right? From India, Hindustani. They were from, not Tonga, Fiji. Man, let me tell you something. Those bad boys were heavily melanated, but they didn't have African, or what anthropologists would call Negroid features. They had like this, and even the kind of the melanin in their skin was different than Africans. I could go on with this for quite a while, but we're running out of time. So let me just wrap it up. Maybe we'll continue at some other point because I'm fascinated by this. So I've met some people from Yugoslavia, when it was a country, that have some features and some pigments in their skin tone that just like I had never seen before, man. I've met people from Azerbaijan, Albania, and they have a really different look to them. A look that you can kind of identify with that region, because I've known and know a lot of Indian folks from India, and they tell me where they're from, and I would look up where the regions were, and there are different facial characteristics and structures and levels of melanin depending on the region. Duh. Right? Guess what? The North Pakistanis are often a lot lighter, but they're still melanated. I mentioned before that I met a few Kurds in the US, and they have the same kind of brownish to orangish type skin tone, curly hair that's brown, and maybe hazelish eyes. Not all of them, but I'll tell you another kind of a telltale sign is the nose. In Europe, in like the middle part of Italy, oh my God, man, oh my God. Or in France, maybe but yeah, maybe we'll pick it up later from the nose. But anyway, what are your experiences? What do you see? Share, man, because I want to know. I'm fascinated by this. Check you guys later. Peace.
This program is made possible by viewers like you. No sponsors, no affiliates, no grants, no foundations. Just your subscriptions and contributions. Thank you.